We got the hot mic.
All right, we are live. It works. All right,
hey guys.
Hey everybody. Soundrop Livestream here, where we pull back the curtain on music distribution, and we answer your questions 100% live and in some kind of fuzzy, weird. Things got weird there for a second. Everybody, hey,
look out.
I'm Pony. I'm the brand manager.
And I'm Rusty, product and platform guru.
Oh, that's so hot, man.
Yeah, let's work with
that's
that.
That's good, yeah. How you been, Rusty?
Been pretty good.
What have you been up to?
What have I been doing? I made a movie list for the month of September. My partner and I like to do themes every month. So October is obviously horror movies. December is obviously like holiday movies. January is adventure films.
Oh,
and
wait, this is heavily themed.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
like
September, we decided it was going to be survival.
Porn. I mean survival.
So, music news.
Yeah.
Let's
Do you
get
have any
into
music
it.
news? I want to hear the survival movie real quick.
Well, yeah, so survival and disaster films. So we started with Dante's Peak, which, you would probably very much enjoy because it's over the top and ridiculous. But
a guy named Dante and his receding hairline?
His widower's peak.
Okay.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a massive volcano and Pierce Brosnan, who sings "Row, Row, Row Your Boat," and it's terrible. You should watch it. All of you should watch it.
If it's really that terrible, I probably will watch it.
So anyway, so that's something that's been going on, and YouTube Music is going on.
YouTube Music is going on?
Yeah. Viewers may remember last month we kind of went in depth about YouTube Music.
Yes.
We are flipping the switch overnight. Tomorrow morning you'll be able to start opting your content into YouTube Music. Keep in mind that in doing this, you have to also opt in for Google Play. It's a package deal.
Why is that?
Because eventually Google Play is going to go away and all we'll have is YouTube Music. So we want to make sure that everything is in sync before that transition happens. We foresee it to occur sometime next year.
Yep, so getting everything in sync,
everything in Backstreet Boys. Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh,
well, you said in sync.
No, I'm not even going to use the button for that one.
Yeah, we'll save the button for real garbage.
No, this is exciting, though. So you'll be able to go in, opt in all your back catalog to get sent over to YouTube Music.
Yeah.
We'll have a way, if you want to do your whole entire catalog, where you can just easily let us know, just send everything so you don't have to go in one release at a time. And it'll start popping up there. In a couple months, we'll start getting some reporting in. We'll get all that managed and figured out in the system.
Exactly,
so that around, when are we going to start? When would
December.
First payouts?
We're thinking first payouts in December. So we worked tirelessly to get the feed correct so that we send everything correctly.
Yep.
And now the next step is we're starting to send stuff. We're going to start getting reporting back, and we want to make sure that we process all of that correctly to get everybody paid out everything that they should be owed.
Yeah. So it'll be a delay of maybe a couple months while we make sure that the system's prepped to handle those reports, and then start in December, and then we'll get everything caught up in December, and then moving ahead, it'll just be 1 month at a time.
Just like all other services. It's going to be awesome.
That's really exciting, and it'll just be right there in with the other stores when you select the...
Yeah, absolutely. So with content that you already have up, you would go find your release in the system, and then click the distribution tab. That's where you go to see which stores you're already on. There's a button that says send to more, and you would just click that, click YouTube Music, and you're good to go.
Good job on that, Rusty.
Hey,
that was
thanks.
Awesome. All right, did you want to say one more thing? It seemed like you were...
No.
Prepping.
I have so much on my mind. We'll save that for what's on my mind.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that's... Dante's Peak is not on his mind and still was right there. Strangely.
It's the greatest cinematic achievement of 1997. That's a lie.
We're there.
Let's keep going.
All right. Okay, so let me just run down some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. We've got a brand new marketing tool. It's just since the last live stream that we added that you get for free as a Soundrop member as part of show.co. We're going to talk about revenue splits, how they work, how we set them up in the system, or why they're valuable. to use. Run through of the licensing publishing page if we get time. That's within the release setup flow. We're going to talk about Spotify playlist pitching, why future release dates are more important than ever, a special deal on audio mastering, and a rundown of how that works. Find out what's on Rusty's mind. Like he said, we're going to get some tips and tricks from Rebecca, and she's going to drop some knowledge on you. But first, we have a question from Soundrop buddy Ro.
Yeah.
Let's put Ro's little thing in there.
Oh,
yeah, we got it. He asked, what kinds of music styles or trends do you want to see more of from Soundrop artists? Any series or artists you think should be covered?
What do you think?
Well, so this is probably my personal bias, but I just don't see as many classic rock and kind of like Motown, that era of covers as I would expect. So
do you mean like covers in that style?
No.
Or covers of those songs from that era and
covers
style?
of those songs from that era, but in all their styles.
Right.
So, I put down here, like, I would love to hear a prog metal instrumental version of Stop in the Name of Love, or Tears of a Clown, or something like that. Or like a bedroom ukulele version of More Than a Feeling. Can you imagine that?
I can.
I would hear...
Personal bias.
They could kind of, like, whistle the guitar solo parts, or play it on the glockenspiel. I just think that would work, so...
It would be something different.
These songs still get played and streamed and searched for as much as any other song. But, we just don't see as many covers of them as we do, like, the current hits. So I think there's, like, a deep well of classic hits that people could be going back to and actually, distributing these covers and in less of a crowded marketplace than, for instance, the newest Shawn Mendes song, or Ed Sheeran song, or even like classic video game songs. We see a ton of covers of those, but nobody's really covering, Spirit of Radio.
Right. Everybody's covering the Underworld theme from Super Mario Brothers.
And I can see why.
Because it's great.
So just like that era of 50s, 60s, 70s rock hits. I also am into something I saw Whitney Avalon doing, where she's like covering modern pop hits, but in a different kind of specific style. So the example I've got here, and I wanted to put the... I'm gonna put a link. I'm gonna put a link in the thing here because.
Could you give a quick background on Whitney Avalon too for people who are unfamiliar with her?
Yeah. So Whitney Avalon does all these like crazy YouTube videos of like Disney princess like rap battles and just like acting out these Disney characters, but in these different circumstances, different situations. And so this recent one where she did was this Taylor Swift song, Look What You Made Me Do, but in the style of the villain from Tangled.
That is oddly specific.
Yes. So here's a link to her
sweet
thing because I think that's awesome.
No, yeah, she's a phenomenal singer and talent. It's really cool to watch.
Yes, she's awesome. So that got me thinking, like, could you do like a Slayer song in the style of Steely Dan?
Considering the fact that there is an Immortal song in the style of Beach Boys, I'm going to say yes.
Who does an Immortal song in the style of Beach Boys?
If you look up Radio Disney versions of metal songs on YouTube, there's a veritable treasure trove. It's amazing.
Yeah, do more of that stuff, guys. Just go nuts with it.
Yeah, and actually that is very much in line with my very short answer for this as well. That big trend lately has been lo-fi versions or just like lo-fi and down-tempo mixes. I would love to see more lo-fi covers of different genres.
Lo-fi covers?
Yeah, like down-tempo, kind of like soft electronic music. So it would be really cool to see that, and, like those kinds of covers, like instrumental covers of pop songs or, really any songs. I listen to a lot of metal, but you can't listen to metal all the time. So getting a good lo-fi cover Well, sure. And then
Yeah.
my second pick
Okay.
is cheesy black metal covers of pop songs, because you also can't vibe out to lo-fi all the time.
Cheesy black metal?
Yeah, like the over the top, the immortal style of black metal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's your challenge, Ro.
Yeah, do it.
Black metal version of what was it? Black metal version
Of pop songs.
Pop.
So I mean, you know, people do metal covers all the time, but nobody does like the really visceral cult, like nasty, blast beating.
They're doing like good sounding metal versions.
Yeah, I want something that sounds like it was recorded in a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a market for that.
Well, I'm most definitely the market for it.
So do it for Rusty, guys.
Please.
Do it for Rusty. All right, what else we got on the agenda here? Let's talk about
Cloudbounce.
Cloudbounce. All right. So let's talk about mastering. Not something that most of us musicians really think about very often.
Very important, though.
Yes. So personally, as a musician, for me, I've been in the situation where you record with your band and you get the recording, you get the mix just right, and then you send it to some person who charges you a lot of money and you get it back and it sounds good. So that's been like my impression of mastering. So, you know,
It is really transformative, but it's this weird magical thing that these mastering engineers do. You know, it's like you send them hundreds of dollars. 15 minutes later, they send you the masters back, and you're like, "What did you do? Like, click a button? Why does this sound so great?"
Who are these mastering engineers that are like sending back your stuff within 15 minutes?
That guy was so quick. Magnus Lindberg out of Stockholm, Sweden.
Wow.
Was the person who mastered our last record. We paid him $400. It was within a half hour. Songs came back. We were all super pleased.
All right. That's a pretty rare circumstance because in most cases, a mastering engineer is booked way out in advance. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had to book in advance with him, and then it was finally when that day came, he was just like, "Here's your stuff."
I see. Okay.
Yeah. It takes a long time, and it's really expensive.
Yeah. So, and particularly for, you know, back in my generation where you're doing full
Let's go back
albums.
in time.
Let's go back in time, back into the 1900s. That's what we say. You know, we would think of mastering as like the thing that made all the songs on the album sound good together. And so if you're like releasing singles and you're just doing a new track every week, you might think like, oh well, then mastering doesn't really apply because it's only one track. But that's not actually true. So when your music gets mastered, that means it sounds good alongside all the other music that's being streamed on Spotify. Because as a listener, you know, when I'm listening to a playlist and a single song sounds tinny or too loud or too quiet or too harsh or something like that, it just makes me want to skip and thumbs down and remove, you know, and not listen to that one. So
yeah, and there are different masters depending on the media in which you're releasing content too. So
point.
like a vinyl master is going to have a significantly different setting for bass than a digital master.
That's important. So your music is mostly going to be listened to on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. So you want it mastered for streaming, online streaming.
Right.
And so there, you know, just to affect the volume, brightness, warmth, clarity, things like that. So a good mastering job will balance all that stuff out so your songs sound good between any other two songs on Spotify. So there are, you know, as Rusty said, mastering engineers like the one he used, but time, money. So in the last few years, there's these automated online mastering solutions where you just upload your tracks and it analyzes the audio and spits out a mastered version. And there are a few good ones, and we actually have just signed a deal with Cloudbounce out of Finland, and they are one of the best ones. They're kind of like these audio tech cryptocurrency nerd guys that are super cool people. So we hooked up with them, and it really sounds good. Like, I did a couple tracks that the original tracks weren't that great. They were just kind of like rough mixes of jams and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was like I uploaded it and plunked a few things, and instantly I was like, it, you know, gives back the master, and it like was obviously way better. So in your Soundrop account, you log in and you look in that little resources section, and there's free mastering. You should click on that, go there, just register, and you can do 2 tracks for free. And if you like the way those 2 tracks sound, for $100 through the end of September, $100 gives you unlimited mastering for the entire year. So that is definitely what we recommend.
Yeah, and then also if you want to just do one at a time, like you don't want to sign up for that for the $100 deal, it's $5 a track.
Yeah, so it's super cheap, super quick, and it sounds really good, and you can just crank them right out. And there's also this like little like landing page for each song that it just automatically generates, so it just makes it really easy to share on social media and just send somebody
potential
a link.
like labels, or maybe a Kickstarter backers, whoever you want to send off to.
Like you wrote a love song to somebody and you just want to send them that one song on the webpage. It looks nice.
Yeah.
So you want to give it a spin, Rusty?
Oh,
show these guys how it works.
Let's give it a spin.
Let's go to Cloudbounce.
Cool.
Right now. Are we there? Oh,
yeah.
We're in there.
Oh, we have arrived. So so I've already uploaded a track, and you're given the option for mastering option. So you select whichever genre you want. For this, even though it's a down tempo track that I have here, again, big fan of lo-fi. I'm going to select Tech House. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds great. And then we can go into mastering options, and we'll see, do I want it to be louder, brighter, less loud? Do I want it warmer? Do I want mid boost? Do I need stereo width? Which is an interesting concept.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm not even sure what that means.
Stereo width is related to how far out your music pans. So like if everything's recorded in the center, you can use stereo width to try to make it seem more in stereo.
Oh, nice.
That's
or kind of like increase that effect of a stereo mix.
That's what it is. But since mine was already recorded in stereo, I'm going to not do that. So I would just click master file, and it will start moving things around. So it waits in a queue for a little bit, and then it actually starts analyzing and processing it. I'm going to go ahead and discard that so I can show you what it looks like when it's finished.
Real quick, Cloudbounce is not a part of Soundrop. We're just partnered with them to give you guys good deals.
Exactly. Yeah, we want to give you guys all the tools that you need.
Yeah. Because what we care about more than anything is that your music gets out there and sounds good, gets activity, gets streamed and downloaded, and this just helps that.
Yeah. So once your track is mastered, they'll actually give you a spot where you can select, the original versus the master. You can listen to the differences between them. You can remaster as many times as you want.
Yes.
And then once it's set, and you're really happy with how it is, you would click download master, and then that will save it under your tracks. And so that's what you see here is I have 2 different mixes of the same song, or 2 different masters of the same song. So once that happens, I can download it, or I can share it with somebody through this this link. You can make it public. You can allow people to download your tracks as well. So it's kind of similar to SoundCloud in that regard.
Unlimited storage.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. Yeah, and it works great for all different genres. I tried some rock stuff, some metal stuff, some electronic stuff, and the results were good across the board. Definitely worth your time, and you get 2 for free just to try it. So do it.
Yeah, just sign up, run a couple tracks in there, even if they're already distributed and you don't actually need to master them again. If you just take your original mixes and run them through there and just compare it to your current the master you've already got up there.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So nice. Should we move on?
Yeah.
From there? Oh yeah, but basically, it's called Cloudbounce. It's the link under resources in the Soundrop dashboard, and $100 you can master as many tracks as you can within the next year, and you get the first 2 for free before you even have to pay a dime or enter a credit card number or any of that stuff.
Right.
So Cloudbounce, check it out, guys. We also got a question about rev splits, how those work.
Yeah.
You want to dive into that, Rusty? Let's talk about it. So that's actually one of the most valuable features you get with a Soundrop account. So you can easily split revenue on any track or album with any number of fellow Soundrop artists. So since Soundrop accounts are completely free for all creators, it's perfect if you do like a lot of collaborations and you're not sure which distribution service your different collaborators use. You just give us their names and email addresses. We start an account for them if they don't already have one, and shoot them an invite, and they just enter their payment information, and then they automatically get paid every time their account hits $20, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So you can do that with collaborators, or also use it to automatically donate money to a charity of your choice. So you can say like, hey, this percent of all my proceeds from this track go to the ACLU or the Humane Society or something. So there are a ton of different options, and we love hearing about people getting creative with that stuff. So yeah, you just email us the splits, and we get it all set up for you. So we don't actually have the UI built out to be able to, for like when you're setting up the album, to set up the rev splits right there.
But that is coming. That's
the platform.
We're working on it.
We're working on that, but it's a little complicated, and basically we just kind of like do it ourselves because the repercussions of setting up your rev splits wrong are financial in nature and can go pretty bad if you set something up wrong. So we just take care of it for you for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to send all your earnings from a project to like the wrong artist altogether.
Yeah, the wrong John Smith. That would be unfortunate.
Yeah.
Or creating, every time you work with a collaborator, they have a different email address, and so all of a sudden now you have all of these different accounts from the same person.
Oh, that could happen.
That absolutely could happen. So we
That
want
could
to
still happen.
Yeah. Let's not let that happen.
Yeah, let's not let that happen. So
you want to take a look and see what.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So usually you just email us the stuff. Michael goes in and sets it up. But we thought you might be curious about what it looks like when we do that. So let's go to back to Rusty's screen here. Are we already there? All right.
Yeah. So this is what a basic contract looks like. I will show you this is the overview for it.
Man.
So we can see that this is a contract between Soundrop and Cairndhu. That is Gaelic for Black Massive Stones, and the album that has the split involved is Great Grey Wolf Sif from Dark Souls. You may be familiar with the track. It's very bittersweet. We have a start date. It looks like the split was put in last year, and an end date. We pay monthly.
Oh, what happens in the year 2044?
I'm out of luck.
When this
in
expires,
2044, we'll have to renegotiate our terms. We'll all be dead by then. It's fine. And then we can see that we have two people that are getting paid on this. Pony's getting 50%. I'm getting 50%.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Rusty.
Yeah, and then
Can't even pronounce this song.
It's just fine. And so we can see under licensors, this is actually the artist or the label whose content we're going to be receiving revenue from. So this is my fake band. You can see there's one album and one track. If I click view, we'll see this is the album with the UPC. This is the track with the ISRC. And then we have digital terms and mechanicals that are taken out. And this is what we set. The standard Soundrop agreement is 85% goes to all of the payees, and we keep our 15% in the back end.
Yeah.
So you can see this is for all territories and
Rental.
services. We have all of these extra channels. You may notice this too in your statements, that we have like physical rental, digital licensing, UGC. We're not currently using any of those, but we don't want to rule it out in the future.
Oh, so they've just got those channels in the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So if at some point in time we start doing any sort of digital licensing or synchronization licensing, we have the channels already built into our contracts for that.
Handle it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll see under mechanicals that for this, because it's a cover song from a song in Dark Souls, there is mechanicals will be paid to the full rate under U.S. copyright law, which is 100%.
Oh yeah.
So that's the basic overview of contracts. When we're actually going in and adding payees, the basic information that we need is the payee name. In this case, it will be Pony Part 2. and he will get a share of 10%. And then I would need his address, which is probably cool guy 420.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. At weed.org.
Oh, come on now.
Yep. And then I would click and send him an invite. And when we do pay splits like this, we set them up as payee contributors. So what that means is this new account that I would set up for a cool pony guy would be a view only account. He would be able to log in. He would see the releases that he's making money on, but he wouldn't be able to send updates or do anything like that. He wouldn't be able to distribute his own music through that account either. Strictly for revenue purposes. But yeah, so that's how invites are sent. That's how contracts are created.
And you get a separate account for taking for getting paid on other people's releases.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. That about covered. Did we get any questions?
Does anybody have no, that stuff's so technical. That's why we hide it. Oh. That's why we hide that stuff. It's so complicated that we could just imagine a huge headache of like people going in there and screwing it up and sending.
I get migraines all the time just thinking about it.
Sending all their revenue to coolguy420 at weed.org.
We got to get that domain.
I know, Rose. Like, I'm surprised that isn't already taken. It
probably is. Don't smash my dreams, dude.
We should jump on that.
Yeah, please.
Rebecca, can you go and claim that email address really quick? Hop over to weed.org and request a new email address.
All right. Let's switch some gears. We got a lot to cover today.
We do have a lot to cover. Do you want to? Should we just can the licensing publishing stuff?
Let's talk about it next month.
Yeah, we were going to go through like that page that you have to fill out when you're going through the sign up process, and then you have to enter the composition info about the music that you're covering. So we're just going to skip that for today because that's just stuff you guys already know, and we're just going to kind of like run through the fields. We'll do that a different day.
Yeah, we'll save it for
Run
later.
out of time. I'm wondering if we should bring Rebecca on.
I think we should.
Should we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Oh, we didn't. I don't think that we tested the whiteboard gimmick here to make sure it wasn't going to knock everything over.
It's much more fun when we do it live.
Yeah, we've got the microphone is like here now instead of wherever it was.
That's right. It's beautiful.
Magic. This is the Rebecca intro music.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hi.
Oh.
Welcome, Rebecca.
No.
Everybody, it's Rebecca.
Hi. I'm back
Who we all
with
know and love.
the sweater vest of
With
content approval.
The sweater vest of content approval. My favorite sweater vest of all the sweater vests I've ever met. So let's talk about title versions. So
Yeah.
you noticed before, I'm sure, when you're setting up a release and you are filling in the title of the track or album, there's it's just a track level metadata, right?
Right.
There's a field that says title version. Is that how the field's labeled?
Yep, it says title version.
Yeah, so we find that people are confused a lot about that. They'll put the same title in there again, and it's just a commonly misunderstood concept, title versions. So first off, Rebecca, what is that field used for?
So the title version field is used to differentiate your original recording of the track with a different version that you've done. So this isn't to differentiate a cover from the original version, just your recording.
Oh yeah, it's party time, bro!
Ow!
Oh.
Oh, and we're back.
Whoa! More of that. More of that.
Oh, now we're back.
Oh, I didn't mean it. Okay.
Oh. Yeah,
That was exciting, guys.
that was really exciting.
So title versions. Let's talk about title versions. So it's not meant to distinguish like your version. It's not like, oh, it's the Rusty version. I'm Rusty and
Right.
I'm doing More Than a Feeling by Boston.
I would never do that.
What about a black metal Funeral Sludge version?
Yep, I totally would do that.
Funeral
We'll
Sludge.
talk about this later.
Sorry, Rebecca. You deserve better.
You're fine.
Yeah, your recording versus a recording that you have done in the past.
Right.
So it's to distinguish multiple versions of your own recording.
Yeah, exactly. So you could use it for like remix, remastered, acoustic version, anything to differentiate the title and let your customers know what exactly they're buying.
I love the idea of thinking of fans as customers.
Yeah.
Just like at a
Yeah.
restaurant. Yeah. They're coming
I mean-
to imbibe some of your music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you enter a title, so like here's an example. I recorded a song. It's called "Rusty Is My Favorite Dude" by Pony, and now the original was "Funeral Sludge Doom," but now I want to record a cappella version.
Okay. Cool. So
So
your track title.
Rusty is
Oh,
man.
that's a capital I. I'm forgetting the
Title
title
format.
case.
Title casing is a huge
Yeah.
thing around here. Oh, I could have made a
No, it's
No.
a shorter.
No.
Rusty is my favorite dude.
We have to take up the whole whiteboard.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. So here's what your track title looks like.
Yeah, what does it look like?
Rusty is my favorite dude. When you put something in the title version, and this is the a cappella version, right?
Now I'm doing acapella.
Now you're
yeah.
doing a cappella.
A space
A space.
CAPPELLA.
And what is the name of your a cappella group, out of curiosity? Or is it just you?
The Pone Tones?
The Pone Tones, I like it.
Does that sound like an acapella group? I feel like, but we should be like the Eastern Michigan University Pone Tones.
Yeah.
No?
So when you put something in the title version field, it shows up at the end of your title in parentheses. So Rusty is my favorite dude, parentheses, acapella.
And so if my original version of that song was a cappella, I would not put that. It's
Right.
my first cover of the Boston hit song "Rusty Is My Favorite Dude." And now I'm doing an a cappella. Now, okay, so what if it's from a movie?
So
Because I remember this song being
Right.
featured really prominently in that key scene in Dante's Peak, where he sings "Row, row, row your boat" strangely over music from a different song.
so in that case, you are not going to want to use the title version field because there's
At all?
There's some specific formatting that needs to happen. There's some stuff that needs to be in brackets
Oh.
and some stuff that needs to be in parentheses.
So, okay, so you don't put any of the stuff of what it's from, who the original artist is.
No, nothing in the title version for this. So this
Okay.
is from Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
So what you'll put in the track title is parentheses from quotations. You guys may remember this from the last one. Dante's Peak.
Rusty is so bummed that this song wasn't
Quotation.
actually in Dante's Peak.
Oh, it's fine.
And then brackets acapella. And
Oh,
this
two
is-
P's in Pella.
Oh, thank you. That would be
This
embarrassing.
is something, yeah. This is something I've gotten to know well over the months.
So, this is now your incredibly long track title. Rusty is my favorite dude, from Dante's Peak, brackets, acapella. Nothing in the title version.
Yeah, that's not, the acapella isn't in the title version?
The acapella isn't in the title version, just for some system limitations. That might be something that we
Oh.
can fix in the future. So,
Okay.
yeah, basically anything after the first set of parentheses needs to be in brackets. So if you have multiple title versions, if you have soundtrack info, that should all go in the title fields. Nothing in
Okay.
the title version.
So use the title version field when it's just a simple track title
Right.
and a new version. What if it's like, I did a new version, this is my new recording,
So
and I want to distinguish it from the
From the old.
original?
So you wouldn't want to use new version. You can
Okay.
you'll have to describe how it's different. So it could be remastered, it could be a different instrumentation, so it could be the guitar version, it could be acoustic, but you can't say new.
Funeral Sludge.
Right,
Yeah.
because new is so time limited, it's not going to be new forever.
Oh yeah, so nothing like new. What about the year? Like 2017 remix.
No, that's usually, you know, you can if you really want to, but we usually encourage people not to do that because it's a little bit generic. So we want to know exactly what the remix is.
Oh, okay. So name the
2018
remix.
isn't a genre, right? So it's not a.
I see. Okay,
it's
but
not
what if it's
pop
just
remix.
you just remixed it because the original mix sucked? Or what if you now went over to Cloudbounce and used one of your 2 free master tracks to master it like you should have done in the first place, and now you're distributing that, but you don't want to take down the other one because it has plays or whatever.
Yeah, so just call it remastered.
Oh, just simply remastered.
Yep.
And then it appears in parentheses.
Yep.
After the title.
As simple as that.
This is.
Good
Thank you,
info.
Tony. This is freaking good info, y'all. So, are there any specific things that people always do wrong? The way that they always use it? You can have the marker.
Thank you. Yes, so there
Yeah.
are a few things.
What do they always do wrong?
So one of the big ones is putting your track title in the track title section and the title version section. So what that turns out to look like is, I'm not as creative with my track titles, I apologize. Track 1, parentheses.
You didn't feel like writing Rusty is my favorite dude.
You know, I
Again.
didn't.
But you were feeling it.
I was feeling it, yeah, definitely. So it looks like this when you're done with that, which looks kind of silly, right? We don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want
Why-
the track title twice.
Why do people do that?
I think it's just some confusion over what the track or the title version field is.
Do we have like a little blue circle with a question mark that somebody can hover over
We
that
do.
explains it?
Yep. So
Is the explanation not that great?
no,
that
it is.
shows?
It says like use remix acoustic version, but I think when you're going through the process to sign up, maybe you're not reading all of that. You're just in a hurry. But
Yeah.
The other thing is some people will submit because they know their stuff and they've submitted before. They'll submit their title version in parentheses already. So that turns out as track 1, parentheses, title version,
Oh,
parentheses.
that seems like something that we could fix pretty easily with some validation in the back end.
We probably could. But in the meantime, it's good to know. We don't want it looking like that.
We could all use a little validation in the back end. Oh no.
Oh boy.
No!
The other thing to keep in mind is this isn't the place
Oh, yeah.
for your featured artists. So we have a featured artist field that will populate correctly. You don't have to worry about formatting that for us. So sometimes people will put their featured artist in the title version. You don't have to do that. We'll take care of it for you.
Okay. So no featured artist, no something cover. Don't put the word cover in the title version thing.
Also original. There's no need to put original because if there's no title version, it is the original. Good info.
That is wicked good info. While you're here, Rebecca, I want to just give you a shout out for making these sweet Soundrop shirts. Look at these guys.
They're my pride and joy. When I found that metallic print, it was just the best thing.
Urban Kingdom.
Yes.
Portland, Oregon, they're just like a local company.
They are a local company, but they ship all over the U.S. So if you're looking for some high quality shirts, they are super awesome to work with. Like, they texted me to let me know that these were done and they were going to deliver them. Like, they know who I am now. They're super cool.
They're like, oh, you're the Soundrop person that is like always needing t-shirts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because the guy on Twitter told a bunch of people he was going to give them away or something.
That was part of it, and they were very happy that this time we
gave them a little lead time.
Plenty of time.
Do you want to see what it looks like if I try to put on this small over my hoodie?
I really do.
Do you think I can wear it for the rest of the stream without hurting myself?
You should do that, though you look like you might get stuck.
Oh, it's a small. You don't.
The logo's a little crooked, but you're fine. There you go.
I think it's form-fitting.
Yeah.
It feels good. We should
like
send one of these to every single Soundrop artist that ever signs up a release through us.
You know, if you give me the company credit card.
They won't let me have the company credit card. Anything else about title versions?
That's about it. It's super simple to use, but you know, sometimes it's a little confusing on how it formats in the system and on delivery. So we just wanted to let you guys know.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Just kind of get the hang of using the system and how things are going to turn out.
Yep.
When you do it.
Yep, exactly.
But it's super handy if you're doing alternate versions of the same song over and over.
Yeah, and you may get a fail if maybe something went wrong with your title versions. You may get a message from our content approval team that says invalid title version, and if that's the case, just check your title version field and make sure none of the things that we described earlier are going on. So no artist names, no cover, no original, anything like that.
Yep.
And that'll fix it right up.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah,
that's good
you're
info.
welcome.
Hey, we got a little time. Do you want to stick around for a minute and talk about this Spotify playlist stuff?
I do, yeah.
Real quick, we should say, howdy, Travis. Good seeing you, man. Thanks for joining us. He dug the Soundrop fanny packs,
Ooh.
which are pretty hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Share pictures with us, and we will, I don't know, what do you do? Retweet them and stuff?
Yep.
What is the profit margin breakdown for covers licensed through Soundrop? So what do you think? I'm not sure exactly what Travis means, the profit margin breakdown. So I think I maybe understand a little bit. Okay, so the services send us, for every stream, they have a little amount that they pay out, and they basically aggregate all that into a single report. When it's downloads, then they pay, most of them pay about 60 something cents for a 99-cent download. Yep. Then out of that, any mechanical royalties that are owed come out of that. And then the remainder, we split 85-15.
Right.
I think that's what he means.
Yep, that sounds right.
Yeah. And then with streams, the services pay the mechanical royalties out of before they report sales to us or streams to us, and then out of that amount it's just 85-15, and then if there are collaborators involved, that 85% is split between the collaborators. Did I get that right?
Yep, you got that right.
All right.
And I think
I don't know if that actually answered the question. But.
And yeah, I think it's good to mention that since you're paying that 9.1 cents out of your download sales, there may be a threshold for, like, if you're doing medleys, like we talked about last stream, where you might lose some money on downloads if you have too many compositions in your medley.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's just something to keep in mind.
Yep. But, if you get a lot of streams on the medley and just a couple downloads, then it might offset and still work out. So if you're concerned about how many songs are in your medley, get a hold of us first and we'll talk through it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. What did we say? Spotify playlist?
Yeah, Spotify playlist pitching. So
yeah,
for those of you who have signed up with Spotify for Artists, you probably already know that if you have a future release date on your tracks, you can submit your music for potential pitches to playlists through Spotify for Artists. So it's super cool. It puts you on the level of, like us when we decide to put out a release and pitch it to a partner. So the things to keep in mind with the Spotify playlist pitching is release dates, number one. So I know a lot of people, that you just submit ASAP, you send it out for distribution, and then you advertise it as soon as it's out. But there are other ways to gain traction on your music, and if you have a release date. So this is one of them. The cool thing about it is if you have that future release date, you submit it for playlist pitching, you are guaranteed that all of the people who follow you, they're going to get your release and the song you choose off of your release on their release radar. in Spotify as soon as it goes live.
Right. That's the key thing,
Right.
is that you're telling them, hey, this is the song that I want to promote on this album. And even if it's like you're doing a song every week or every couple weeks, you kind of can surface the specific songs that you think are the best candidates to be put on playlists. And it actually works from what we've heard. Yeah, we're seeing people use it. Every once in a while, like, we just see a release come across and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make sure that one's on there. And the info that they ask for, it seems like a lot. It's like what genre, what the mood, but filling all that stuff out accurately helps a lot, right?
Yeah, so you want to fill out all that stuff as accurately as possible. So if you have the option, don't select none of these, because the more they can specify what playlist that your music would be good on, the better chances you're going to have to be on that playlist.
Right.
The other big thing is right before you're going to submit, there's kind of a anything else about this release section. And what you want to put in there is, why should your music be featured on a playlist? What are kind of the drivers to your release? Do you have a lot of streams? How's your social following? Do you get a lot of views on your YouTube page?
Like, why should we care?
Right, exactly. Like, why would we want to feature this? And the more information you can give there, the better. And it's always better to kind of give specific numbers rather than, I think this music is really cool, which is awesome. Like, talking about how unique your music is helps, but if we can put numbers to that, it's going to really help put that on a playlist.
Yeah, nice. And how far out of a release date are we recommending here?
So you'll want it delivered to Spotify at least a week before your release date. So if you're doing a cover, you're going to want to keep that in mind as well. So we recommend 30 days if you can. And we also recommend releasing on a Friday.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so it basically, as soon as your track is recorded and mixed and like that's the version you're going to use, and you've gone over to Cloudbounce and redeemed your free masters, and the next thing you want to do is upload it to Soundrop before you get the video ready, and then try to coordinate everything to release at the same time. You know, when Spotify sees a lot of streams on release day, that triggers their algorithm to start promoting it as well.
Yep.
And don't be intimidated. This isn't like a thing that only labels and distributors and everybody use. Like, it's meant, Spotify wants you to use it. It's meant for artists.
Totally. And it pairs really well with using your free tools on show.co. So what you do is you get your release ready. You submit it to Spotify. You get as many followers as you can through show.co.
Yeah.
And then when it goes live, it goes on the release radar. It gets a lot of plays, and your chances are better of it going somewhere.
That's such incredibly good info, Rebecca. You mentioned show.co.
Yeah.
Earlier today, I was sitting at my desk, and Rusty came up behind me, and he was like, "Hey pony, hey pony, hey pony, hey pony, hey pony."
Rusty's saying that
hey
never
pony,
happened.
hey pony. And then I was like, "Oh, what, Rusty?" And then Rusty's like, "I really want to show these guys the new show.co feature that we just released since the last live stream. I want to actually go on the live stream today and show everybody how it works." And I was like, "Oh, fine." Right. Well, at first I was like, No. But then I was like, "Okay, Rusty, come on the live stream today, and I'll let you show it." It's called Stream to Unlock, which sounds like intense.
Yeah,
more intense than it is. Rebecca, maybe we should let Rusty on so he can do this thing that he's been bugging me about all day.
That's
All right.
probably a good idea.
All right.
All right,
Hey,
Rusty.
thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah.
She's the best. The best. Tied with Rusty for best.
Everybody's the best. Cool.
Everybody's my favorite dude.
Yeah. Title version, acapella, ragtime.
Ragtime funeral sludge.
Oh, man. All right. So, Stream to Unlock. Let's dig into it.
Yeah, Stream to Unlock. So what this does basically is it allows a fan to go to dedicated landing page, which you can easily set up using show.co, and they basically just, if they're a Spotify premium user, they connect their Spotify account, and if they stream 30 seconds or more of the song that you are promoting there, then they unlock something that you decide. So it can be like a contest or a link to a hidden video, or
maybe
like,
it's an unreleased song.
Yeah, or like nude pics.
Well, sure. Really? Let's see. Can we get this screen share going?
Yeah, let's get the screen share going. We're gonna show.
Take a look.
Nudepics.org.
All right, so this is one that I set up for my band today. And so our contest is, if you stream a song, you get a Skype lesson. So you know, there's 5 people in our band. Everybody has their own unique set of skills. And all you have to do in order to be entered in for this is to log into your Spotify, and then you play 30 seconds of this song from my band. And what's really cool in the back end is once this happens, so it'll unlock in 30 seconds. While this is going on, we can see in show.co that one, I haven't shared this with anybody because my conversion rate and unlocks is only at 1.
Are you embarrassed about your conversion rate? Wait, what's happening to the screen right now?
Yeah, what is happening to the screen right now?
Yeah, but Rusty's screen has
anymore.
moved on.
We have lost my screen. Well, the point is,
wait.
All right.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Always.
We really want to show this to you because it's basically a way that you can just drive paid streams on a song of your choice, and there's just oh wait, now
cool.
It's working.
Yeah, so
this is what it looks like on the back end.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, so the 30 seconds ran its course, and now I can click continue.
Well, yeah,
and so it's like, here's the agreement, like clicking this button, I'm 13, totally. And then cool, so now I am now entered into my own contest, and I'm gonna win.
Yeah, and you get everybody. So if somebody connects their Spotify account, you get their email address, so you can send them updates and everything, right?
Exactly.
So what does that look? Can you show what that looks like?
Well, I think we lost it again.
We lost it. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say, but yeah, I mean, in show.co, what you see is your engagement from what kind of device it is, whether it's mobile or whether it's from a computer.
Hang on, Rusty, because I really want to show them what it looks like.
You do?
But it's just showing them this.
Oh, wait.
Everybody's going to bail from the stream if we can't get this right, Rusty.
Okay. So let's see. Let's see if this is actually working.
See, look, we lost 2.
All right.
Oh, there's Rain.
Yeah. So
Rain's
this is essentially what it looks like. Like, you can see some basic analytics about it, and then anybody who participated in this thing, I can just download a CSV or spreadsheet, and I'll have all of their Spotify IDs. I'll have their email addresses. And yeah, that'll be really handy.
And it's just the CSV, so you can. So I actually went and streamed his song earlier, which everybody should do because it's actually an awesome song. So then I checked, and I showed up in the CSV.
That's right.
In the spreadsheet
under ID Domerotic.
Domerotic.
That's right.
My embarrassing Spotify username.
That's right.
Does it? Oh, and there's my email address, my personal email address.
Exactly.
That I showed.
And that's why we're not showing it.
Stream. Oh, you're not showing it.
Not showing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, we're still broke. So we will kill that screen share. Anyway, show.co is under
fucking thing.
Really?
Sorry, Rusty.
You're a child.
I am.
So yeah, basically all you want to do in that same area under resources where there's free mastering, there's free marketing tools. If you haven't claimed your show.co, you should, because it's awesome.
Oh yeah, use the
just
living crap out of show.co, people, because it works really good. It works a lot better than this screen sharing thing that's still stuck on. Can we fix this? Hey!
Okay.
And we're back.
Oh,
all right.
No.
Rusty, thanks for showing us that stream to unlock. I hope everybody actually takes advantage of those.
It's really cool.
Marketing tools that are actually, really cool. The contest. I really like the idea of the contest.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to start wrapping it up here in a minute here. But before we go, I think it's important to understand, besides Dante's Peak and an entire month of survival
and
movies,
disaster movies, yeah.
and disaster movies, what else is on Rusty's mind?
First things first.
That Thai food we had for lunch.
Yeah, I got all the spice. It was great.
I got none of the spice. We got the same exact thing, same spice level, and for some reason mine wasn't spicy and his was extra
He controls
spicy.
the spice. Controls lunchtime. So, on my mind, besides Dune, is I wanted to just talk briefly about our experience at Mag West, because we had such a great time there. Met a lot of really cool people. Saw so many great musicians. I'm actually wearing a shirt from Vic Viper, who's a Soundrop artist. That's the ship from Gradius.
Yes.
And they do really cool rock covers of video game songs. Definitely worth checking out. Super Soul Brothers, who we don't distribute, but they blew me away regardless.
Wait,
They were
I thought
fantastic.
I saw a Super Soul Brothers.
Well, if we do,
Maybe
we
as
do.
an old one that we got from that.
Nice.
They were past too.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Their Earthbound covers are just like top tier.
Yes.
Definitely worth checking out.
Oh.
Oh, was it like a jam space? Yeah, they did that. They did that at Meg West. Also, they had like their performance on the main stage, and then they were like, "We're going to the jam space," and that was about the time when I drank all the tequila I possibly had, and yeah, it was. And then I found myself
You just had tequila.
It was in a Starbucks cup. It was fine. Yeah, and so
That's
just
classy.
watching this horn section at like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh,
Meg West
yes.
is fantastic.
Oh man.
Yeah, Colby, dude. Wish you could have been there too. Maybe see us at Super Mag in January, because we will be there. We look forward to meeting all of you guys.
Yeah. Look for one of these hot T-shirts.
Or maybe 3 of them. You never know. And then the only other thing on my mind, I know we're ready to wrap up. Cyberpunk 2077. I don't need to tell any of you guys about this. Looks amazing.
You need to tell me about this.
Well, it's a game.
2077.
2077. So it takes place in
Farther
the
out than
near.
2044.
Yeah, that's right. And it's past Rush 2049 too. Very cool game. The graphics look amazing. The drug that you take for slow motion reminds me so much of the movie Dread. I'm just really stoked. I think
So
it's
you
gonna,
get that? They send you that when you download the game?
No, it's a part of the game. It's one of the core features of the game. It's like bullet time.
Got
like,
it.
Yeah,
Got it.
They
I
don't
was
send you
like,
drugs in the
you have
mail.
to do a drug to do this game?
Well, you may, not me.
Yeah.
I play to win. Cool. Anyway, that's what's been on my mind.
Your mind. I love your mind, man.
You know, it's a beautiful mind. It's
All
by
right.
Russell Crowe.
I think
Do we have time for 1 minute of wrestling?
no.
No,
Do we
that's
really
it?
want to do a minute of wrestling talk? All right, let's do a damn minute of wrestling talk because I'm a wrestling
That is the
nerd.
spirit.
I am on the internet and I'm going to talk about wrestling because it's what wrestling nerds do on the internet.
You ready? You got 1 minute. Go.
All right, I want to talk about the gross misuse of Kevin Owens in the first year in WWE. This guy slayed it. NXT champion. He had a super high-profile, awesome, critically acclaimed feud with John Cena during his NXT title reign. He was a Universal champion and all this stuff, and tons of verbal skills, wrestling skills. He can do it all, and they just spent basically 4 to 6 months of him just getting brutalized by this other guy named Braun Strowman, and he lost every match. It didn't make any sense why he got squashed at SummerSlam. And then they have him come back on Raw. He has an amazing match with Seth Rollins, which he loses, and then says, "I quit." It was like a big deal. It was like the end of the show and everything. Then they didn't follow up at all on the storyline. He quit, and then this week he's back helping Braun Strowman beat people up. Oh, well, I think that's my cue.
That's also your cue.
This is a train wreck. All right.
No.
You guys, we're out of time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for joining us.
Self-imposed time limit that we're out of. We'll be back on
October 2nd.
Thank you, Rusty. In the meantime, follow us here on Twitch. Hit me up at Soundrop on Twitter, and then at Soundrop Distro on Instagram. Is there anything else, Rusty?
Oh, I think that's it. Just from all of us, thanks for being with us and for distributing with us. It means the world. See you next month.